welcome back to your virtual tea time. My name is Tori and I am your host. And today we have Kim Eaton back with us in studio. It's been a while. And I thought I'd remind you as the listeners how I met Kim. She has helped me so much in my golf game. Just in case you don't have that kind of mentor in your golf life right now, I wanted to reiterate how important it is to put yourself out there, play tournaments, get uncomfortable, let yourself feel that pressure of tournament play. It will only make your game better. When I met Kim, I was probably around 11, 10, maybe even 12 handicap index. And she was the president of the Papago WGA, or maybe she was the vice president and Pat was the president. And she took me under her wing right away. In the past, God, that must have been almost 12 years ago that I met her. She has been pushing me to play tournaments ever since, and ones that I felt like I had no business playing in. And I know you have that tournament in your head where you're thinking, why would I ever play in that? I am not good enough to play in that tournament. Like, what is the point? I know you have that thought about one particular tournament that's in the lineup for next year or this season for you. So she would be constantly pushing me to play in these types of tournaments and qualifiers. And honestly, that one year that I qualified for the Mid-Am, the USGA Mid-Am, I owe all to her and another one of my friends, Liz Waynick, who pushed me to play in qualifiers, USGA qualifiers, when I didn't even know what they were. I was like, why am I going to do this? I don't even get it. Like, I didn't even know what they were. And playing in the USGA Mid-Am might be my most proudest moment. And it all is because someone pushed me to actually do it. Because I didn't even believe in myself that I could actually qualify. And then I did. It was crazy. Anyway, even as of today, she is pushing me. She just emailed me a tournament that's in early January in Florida. And she's like, you should play in this. You need to get back in it. You need to play in it. So it's nonstop. And that's why I'm going to be nonstop with you in playing more tournaments. And this is why I have Kim and other players that might not be at your level right now. Like, they might be playing in tournaments and different levels of events that are like light years ahead of you. That's might be what you feel, even if I have a professional golfer on the podcast. But the reason I have them on is to share their experience, because their experience is going to be so much similar to your experience that you just don't realize. You know, they are feeling the same things you feel. They are scared of the same things that you're scared about. They are proud of the same moments that you're proud of. Like, there's not much difference in the professional going out there, the college player going out there, the elite amateur golfer going out there than you. And that's why I have them on the podcast to share their stories. And that's why we continue to have Miss Kimberly Eaton on the podcast to share what her summer has been like competing at Colorado and Arizona at USGA tournaments. It's a big deal. And it's a big deal to take the stories in and apply them to your own golf game and be brave enough to go play in the events that get you scared. And so in honor of that, I am actually going to sign up for the Arizona State Match Play tournament it's in mid-December, and something I don't want to do. I'd rather stay home and hang out at home where it's warm and cozy and filled with Christmas decorations than go play in an Arizona State tournament. But I'm dedicated to becoming a better golfer this year. I'm not going to say that the past 2 years have been my best performances, my most motivated that I've been. I don't even know if that makes sense, but like right now, I want to work hard. And right now I am wanting to get back to where I was in my golf game. Like I tell you, I know truly too, that I need to be out there playing also. So I am going to be doing the big uncomfortable tournament too, and I will share along the way how it goes. So if you want to sign up for that tournament too right now, the one that's making you feel uncomfortable, that maybe people are putting pressure on you to do and you don't feel like it's worth your time, why don't you do it too? And then I'm going to do it and we'll do it together and everything will be great. Okay. And we're going to learn from it. No matter what happens, we're going to learn from it and move on to the next one. All right. In the meantime, let's get into it with Kimberly Eaton and we're going to catch up on this summer. Let's go.
Next up on the number one tee.
We have Kimberly Eaton back with us. Kimberly, Colorado Hall of Famer, Kimberly the Eaton. How are you? This is podcast life right here. And we're back.
We are back, and it's been a while.
It has been a while. And you know what triggered me? Sadly enough. Okay. And I'll admit it because we're buddies. We're best buds. I put out my Instagram stories like 2 days ago. Like, what do you want to hear on the podcast? What guests do you want to hear? You know, give me some ideas, basically. And we had multiple people say, you know, where's Kim? Let's bring Kim back.
Oh, not really.
Really?
I never saw that.
Well, obviously you're not looking at me on the gram. What's that about?
Well, I am.
You're just busy doing your tequila shots.
My God. I am telling you, the one thing I did learn something this summer.
Yeah.
That as I get older, it is just harder and harder to travel. It seems like I have been on the go all summer long.
Well, you have. And you have that nice new place up north, and you barely get to enjoy it.
Oh, no. We spent quite a bit of time up there. It was nice.
All right, good.
That was really nice, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so tell us about it. So this was your first summer, because you bought it like late last summer. So this was your first full summer that you got to escape the heat, stay in Arizona, because I know you go to Colorado all the time in the summer, but this time you were just 3 hours away. You're closer to me. You even got to play my guest day.
Oh, yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah. And,
you know, the new place is nice. It's just a little park model. It's just big enough for Pat and I, really. But we've had some company up there. But it was just nice because we were told that, it hasn't rained up here in forever. Well, the first couple of months we were there, every afternoon it rained. It was just...
Who told you that it hasn't been raining?
Well, you know, you guys get more rain and stuff up in Pine Top and Lakeside than Show Low does.
Oh, really?
Yes. Okay. But it was nice to sit out on the porch and just listen to the rain.
Yeah.
It was...
Yeah, I mean, I love the rain, but I know you guys like to tee off. Like, you like to tee off later.
Yeah, we would play between 10 and 12.
Yeah, and that's problematic in the summer.
For you guys, especially.
Yeah.
It hasn't been too bad for us. I think, well, I shouldn't say that. I think we came off the golf course maybe 5 or 6 times. Yeah. But, you know, it doesn't matter because we're members. So if we only play 16 holes, whatever. No big deal. We go home. Yeah. I'm not going to stay out there and get soaking wet. I didn't retire to play golf in really cold weather.
Until this weekend
for the Arizona-Utah shootout. Oh, my God, was it cold the last day.
Okay, so let me tell the listeners this format, and feel free to chime in, because this is a fun format, and I think that it's something you can bring to maybe your club versus another club, or even if you want to do it just like us, where we're playing against a different state, which is Utah. So it's called the AZ Utah Shootout. It's always in October, and each year it changes from an Arizona golf site to a Utah site. So this year we went to Utah. I did not play. I couldn't play this year, but Arizona State Golf Association chooses the team, and it's based on points, player of the year points. And if you are low enough and you get picked, you get to go on this trip to Utah or play in the local event. And it's just matches. It's co-ed.
It's co-ed. It was the format. Well, you get a practice round on Sunday. Then we played 2 rounds on Monday. The morning round was foursomes. My partner was Lee Clossy, and it's 3 points. So you get a point for the front, a point for the back, and a point for the overall. Just a regular Nassau type thing, but foursomes, which is strict alternate shot. So she teed off on all the odd holes, and I teed off on all the even holes. And we won 3 points in that. We actually played pretty good. And that morning, I mean, I chipped in, I made a 50-footer.
Oh
These
my
are things
God.
that I don't do very often.
Your opponents were mother effing you for sure.
So then in the afternoon, it's 4-ball, just your standard best ball. And Lee played a lot better in the afternoon than I did, but I maybe helped on a couple holes. And then the next day is individual matches. And that's when it was cold. I mean, I don't think it got above 42 degrees. But I have to say, we were fortunate in that it didn't rain all day. It spitted a little, but it could have been way worse if it would have been raining.
Tell us what course you were at.
We were at a course called Oak Ridge Country Club. It's in Farmington, Utah. And one thing about this club that was pretty cool is the club provided cart covers for us.
I heard that.
I've never heard of a club that had cart covers that they provide.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And then Utah was supposed to bring their own. But if they didn't, you know, like Corrine's son took hers or whatever. So she rode with me, which was fine. I don't have a problem riding with my opponent.
Yeah. Well, that's so nice, though, that they provided cart covers. I mean, Adam said if there wasn't cart covers,
It would have been miserable.
Miserable. I mean, 42 degrees.
And my body hates that. But I kept my winter gloves on the whole time, which usually I can't
Grip very well.
But it didn't really matter.
Tell me your whole outfit. Like, how many layers did you have on? I saw that you had like little things over your shoes. Tell us everything.
Well, I wear tennis shoes, so they get wet easily. So I call them rubbers, and people just laugh at me. But back in my day, when we were younger, that's what you called those things that you put over your shoes were rubbers. Anyway, when I first got a pair, these pair is a little different. They're easier to get on than the first original pair I had, but I did have to get it approved through the USGA to make sure I could wear them, like during a USGA event.
Interesting. And where do you buy them?
You can get them online.
Okay. And what do you search? Because you're not going to search rubbers. We all know what's going to come up if you do that.
Probably shoe covers, you know.
And they're just like rubber.
Yeah,
like
they're kind of a thick rubber. The first ones I had were really tough rubber, and they were hard to get on and off my tennis shoes. These ones you kind of slip in and you can zip it up, and it's a little higher and
wow,
really nice. And then I had a pair of cords on.
Wait. You say that so freely, a pair of cords.
Well, I do.
A pair of corduroy pants.
Corduroy pants.
Did you have some leggings on underneath?
Okay. I don't do that. But I wore my rain pants all day, which I hate. I hate wearing my rain pants.
Oh, see, I don't mind that.
Yeah, either does Lee. You know?
It doesn't bother me, but it is very noisy.
Well, I think I lost my Silverado ball marker because in my right side, there's an opening into my pants pocket, but then there's also a pocket. But I think I missed both and it just came out. So that was kind of a
R.I.P. Silverado.
And then I had a Under Armour shirt on, the polo shirt they gave us, the pullover they gave us. And actually, I had my heated vest on for a while, but it was really hard for me to swing in. So I just took it off. I probably would have not taken it off had there not been a cart cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I had a beanie on.
Wow.
In my winter gloves.
And did you feel freezing the whole time?
No, I actually didn't feel too bad.
Okay, good. Did the sun come out?
No.
Brutal.
The sun did not come out. In the mountains or the foothills, where you knew it was snowing up there because the cloud cover was. And then when we were eating lunch afterwards, or even at the airport, you could see that the mountains got a dusting.
Oh, yeah. So how this works, too, if you do want to approach your golf association or even your country club, the associations pay for everything.
I'm telling you, they went all out this year.
Yeah.
I can't remember in the 2 other times that I've played. It's been a while since I've played. But I mean, they pay for your room, your airfare. You get a room by yourself.
Yeah.
Meals. We all had dinner Monday night. And I have to tell you, the bill was a little high.
It was hefty. Well, were there some drinks had? I mean, I saw you having a tequila shot.
I had 1 tequila shot.
Okay. Sunday
night, Utah provided dinner, and we were allowed 1 drink each, and they paid for that.
Yeah.
And then Monday night, yes, I had a shot, and Arizona paid for it, but I only had 1. Some of the other guys had more than 1 drink.
Yeah.
You know, but 1 was all I needed. And then Tuesday night in the airport, because we had like to wait 6 hours. Our flight didn't leave until 10 p.m.
That's almost as brutal as the weather.
That was pretty brutal. And so then I had a shot at dinner then.
Yeah. So there's 2 senior women that play.
Which is new this year.
Yep. And you can thank me for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, okay. You're welcome.
Because I got my ass kicked the other 2 times I played because I had to play Kelsey Chug. She won the Mid-Am about 4 years ago, and 2 years ago she was runner-up. She's
a stud.
Yeah.
She is an absolute stud. I hope to have her on the podcast one day. Maybe you can help me with that. Okay, so 2 senior women, 2 senior men, 2 open women, and then...
No, 2 Legends men, too. Now they have a 2 Legends men, 2 senior men.
Wow.
And then 8 open men.
Okay, so what's that? Like
16 total.
16 players. It is a privilege to play in this. So it's almost motivation to play well throughout the year so that you get picked to play in this event. And again, it's all inclusive and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's nice because you get to know, well, the staff members that go, you get to know them a little better. Mm-hmm. And then also the men, we don't have a lot of interaction with the men in this state. And so it's nice to get to know some of the men.
Yeah, it is. It's fun.
And I didn't realize that one of them was a USGA champion.
Oh, Sam.
Sam and his partner who won the USGA 4-ball this last year.
No, that's incredible. I've been meaning to have them back on the show, too, because Sam has been on the podcast before. I'll put that episode in the show notes. But when I had him on the show about 1 year ago, he was talking about how hard he was working on his game and that, certain things are clicking in, and go figure, he freaking wins a USGA championship this spring.
I know, that was great.
That's crazy.
I had no clue.
I'm sure he's still on cloud 9.
I think the only
he should be.
2 people I knew, the guys, were Adam and Sean O'Donnell. Because I think Sean played one of the other times that I played.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of their ones, so it was fun.
Yeah.
Glad to be home, though.
And, we are starting the season here in Arizona. It's finally under 100 degrees. We had about 7 days of pleasant weather, and now it's already a little...
Chilly.
That is how Arizona is. There's no fall. It goes from summer right to winter. And when I say winter, I'm saying that it's winter light. We're talking low 70s, 60s. We're going to be in the 60 degrees next week.
Pat always calls it summer. When she talks, she goes, it's summertime now. I love it. And I'm like, no. No.
That's
the other thing I've learned, to have a little patience with what comes out of her mouth lately.
Oh,
she's gotten older and she just says what's on her mind.
Well, you do too, Kim.
Oh, not like this. No.
Can you give an example without, we love Pat. Okay, we love Pat. Without hurting her feelings.
We're pretty liberal. I'll give you the other example. She was at the mailbox the other day, or the post office, mailing our ballots.
Okay. Oh, dear.
And there was an older gentleman that showed up in his truck with a Trump sticker on. And he had his ballots in his hand. She goes, oh, I see. We're going to do the same thing. Too bad we're canceling yours out.
Oh, my God. That's pretty funny, though. Did he laugh?
I have no idea, but I was like, Pat, one of these days, someone's going to pull out a gun and just shoot you.
Oh, my God. Well, I don't even want to get any further into politics because it is hot. I actually think this episode might air on Election Day. So, if not Election Day, very close.
It doesn't matter which side, John. I think this world is in some trouble.
Well, I'm not going to talk about it. Yeah. The one nice thing that I saw this election season is my daughter just turned 18 and she was very excited to vote. And my husband sat at the table with her ballot and went through each, how do you even say it?
Each ballot. Each proposition.
Everything. And explained it to her, and she went ahead and voted on her own, but they went through each line item, which is a lot. He explained each one, and they talked about it. And it was just it was nice to see. And,
that is nice. Yeah. It's nice to see the young kids getting involved.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's move on from this summer, because again, we haven't talked
on the podcast all summer. Why don't we go to the USGA Senior Am?
The USGA Senior Am. That was fun. The golf course was...
Hold on. Let's back up. Before we get there, I want to talk about the qualifier. Okay. Because I caddied for you in the qualifier, which I have done in the past couple of years. It was at Paradise Valley Country Club. And if you haven't played in a USGA qualifier before, especially the Senior Am one, I know certain, like the Open might be different, the format, but this is just 18 holes. One round of 18 holes. The lowest in this instance was lowest 6 scores.
Correct.
Got in. Okay. But it's like a one and done. And we all know as golfers, or at least I hope you do know, that you can wake up on any day and it could be a really good day, a really bad day, a so-so day. Like, you just never know with golf.
And I've seen that with some people that have, I mean, they played out of their mind on the qualifying day and qualified to go.
Yeah.
But then it's a whole different experience once you get there. But the qualifying, I played well in the qualifying until the last hole where I double bogeyed 18. But at Paradise Valley, you have to realize 17 and 18 are 2 tough holes.
Yeah.
So I ended up shooting 77.
But I was going to ask you, like, leading up to the qualifier day, because I know this championship means a lot to you. How do you handle it? How do you calm yourself down? How do you, I mean, last year you started right off with a bogey on number 1 and you were able to calm down. What do you say to yourself going into it?
Well, I think I've come to realize when I was younger, I used to get pretty angry and mad with myself out on the golf course. But now I've realized that, you know, 1 bogey is okay because I know there's birdies out there. I know I'm going to make a couple birdies anyway, and I just have to stay patient. And then I know from experience doing all these qualifiers that if you shoot anywhere from 78 or better, you're probably going to make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And stuff. And so you just have to kind of keep your head down and keep plugging along. And so we get done and I shot 77 and we're all in there going, oh my God, because I was the second one in this year. Last year, I was like the last one. And so we're in and we're looking at the scores and we're thinking, oh, she's going to come in good. She's going to come in good. She's going to come in good. And then all of a sudden, everybody's come in and 77 is low. And
which you call
medalists.
Yes.
But there were 3 of us that shot 77. And I think there were 3 78s that got in, which is, I mean, to me, that was kind of a high score to get in. But so we went. And so then you go. And see, to me, it's important to go because this was my 15th consecutive one in a row. I'm trying to see it because I always told myself when I don't qualify or if I don't make the cut, then I'm not going to try anymore. I may have changed my mind on that, but we'll see because it's never happened yet.
Yeah, but it came close 3 years ago. And look at it.
I made it in a playoff. That's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you go, you play your 2 practice rounds, and I hate practice rounds. Everybody knows I hate practice rounds. I don't sit on the greens. We've had this conversation in one of the other podcasts where I don't take notes. I don't practice putting all around. I don't do anything. I just play just to see the golf course. Well, I had to play a little bit more this time because I played with the same 3 on both days, and 2 of us took on the other 2. And we were playing, I mean, we won $60 in 2 days. Trust me, it was my partner that probably won the $60.
Who'd you play with?
My partner was Dawn Woodard.
Oh, yes.
And so
that's great.
And so the joke was because she's a rookie now, I mean, she just turned 50. And because she's a rookie, she had to ride with me in the practice rounds. She got stuck riding with me and being my partner, or I was her partner, but she carried it. So that was good.
Well, that's fun.
There's 132 people and they take the low 64. And I think I qualified
into match play. So you have 2-day stroke play and then the low 64 goes into match play.
I didn't play great. I think I qualified 44th, but I've also learned that it doesn't matter how high up you qualify.
Yeah.
You just want to be in the top 64 and get it into match play. Preferably not the 63rd or 64th person, because then you're going to have to play number 1 and number 2. But like last year, I qualified 6th and I lost my first match.
Yeah.
This year I qualified, I think it was 44. I'd have to look at the medallion again. And the golf course was tough. I mean, when I first got there, I thought, 56 yards, 5,600 yards. That's not too bad. Well, there were 5 par 3s, so that makes a difference on the yardage. The par 4s were long. The par 5s, there weren't any that were reachable for me. And then some of the par 3s were long, but they did shorten some of them up after the first qualifying round and stuff, because there were some kind of high scores.
What's interesting is the USGA staff that's on site, like they will look at the scores after the first qualifying day. And if they're generally high, they will adjust the course accordingly, or vice versa.
I mean, there's already probably 4 or 5 holes that they're playing 2 tees, no matter what. So on your one practice round, you play the 1 tee. On the next practice round, you play the other tee, just so you get an idea. But they changed a couple others that weren't even in that category and stuff. But won my first match. It was a good match, and I hit some bad shots, but I hit a couple phenomenal shots that just surprised the hell out of me. And I think I won on 16. Then the next match, I was playing Linda Jeffries, who I didn't realize, but was going through chemo treatments.
Wow.
At the time. But she played, I mean, she was exempt because she made it, I think, to the quarters of the semis last year in Arizona.
So she was going through chemo and you didn't realize that, like you didn't know that when you were playing with her?
Well, no, I learned
against her
as we were getting ready to play or something, because I said, your hair is usually not this short. I don't remember your hair. She goes, well, that's because I'm going through chemo. And I'm like, wow, good for you. I mean, she wasn't sure she was even going to be able to play. And
well, good for her for getting out there.
And I beat her on 16, but she got a little angry with herself. And I think that kind of hurt her coming in.
Well, getting angry does take a lot of energy out of you.
And then my next match, unfortunately, I ran into a buzzsaw, Ellen Port, who's a 7-time USGA champion. I was really excited for the qualifying rounds because it was the best pairing I've ever had. I got paired with Ellen Port and Corey Waworski. I mean, usually I don't get good pairings like that.
Well, it's just so random that, I mean, out of 132 people, you just never know. And to be paired with 2 people that are your close friends.
And so I got to play with Ellen basically 3 days. It's hard for me to play 2 rounds in one day. I just get tired and sore, and it's just hard. So I didn't hit the ball quite as well as I could have.
But still one of your best showings.
It's been my best showing in a few years now, I think. And I can't remember when we were in New Jersey, but that was my last time I made it to the quarterfinals.
And did you feel good going into it? Or
I felt like I was hitting the ball better than I've hit it in a long time. You know, I got the new irons from Titleist last year, and I really like them.
Yeah, they're working well.
And now I get to get a new driver.
Oh, yes. Was that all scheduled yet?
Well, we're working on it.
Okay, good. I love the new GT driver. I think you'll like it.
Well, you know, they did that fitting while we were at Silverado, and you really couldn't hit enough balls because they were trying to get everybody through. And so he fitted me for like an 11-degree loft. Well, I play a 9-degree, so I thought
that's a lot.
I need to hit more balls.
Absolutely.
To be able to really, and I know Steve Creekmore, who will do the fitting, he's a good guy.
What driver do you play with now?
I have a Ping 400.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to say the GT feels much different than the TSR, which was the previous model, but I think you'll like it a lot. One more thing about Ellen Port, who, again, 7-time USGA champion. What do you think her secret sauce is? Like, what does she do exceptionally well?
Well, she hits the ball further. I mean, she's a couple years younger than me. Granted, I was the oldest person left in the field to make it to the second round of match play. But she just hits the ball pretty straight every once in a while, but she hits it probably 30 yards further than I do. And I don't consider myself a short hitter.
No, you're not.
But I don't consider myself long either.
Yeah. But you're usually above average, I would say.
Yeah, I would say I'm above average, but I hit the ball in the rough quite a bit the second day, or the trees, and
it's just hard to get on
hard.
The green.
The rough was hard. Just like in Napa, the rough was brutal in Napa.
Gosh, tell me about, I mean, like, I was shocked, and I said this on the episode with my sister, I was shocked at how much players struggled at Silverado.
Even me. There's no doubt. I didn't play very good. But I have to say, I really had a good time playing with Alex and your mom.
Oh,
your mom's a riot. And what'd you tell me? You said, oh, she's mean. And I said, well, I'll just sick Pat on her.
Listen, I love my mother, but she can be sharp at times.
Oh,
she has her own opinions, and those are it.
There's nothing wrong with that, but she was fun. I mean, I'm sure she was nervous because she'd never played in a tournament before. And
she would never admit it, but I'm sure she
And Pat and I are pretty easygoing on the golf course, so we had fun.
Well, especially when you guys are partners, you probably have the mentality of like, it's just, we're going out there for fun, easy going, even though I know you want to play well, but still.
I do want to play well, but I find that I don't play well all the time anymore.
Well, you did struggle at Silverado. So did you think you won?
I wasn't sure.
Because I don't show the leaderboard the final day.
No, I thought we were maybe close, but I didn't know how the group that was leading played not as well the second day.
Oh, okay.
And I think we scored more points the second day than we did the first, but well, and it really didn't matter because I was to be honest with you, I was sicker than a dog.
Yeah, what was going on?
I got some kind of stomach issue because after I left the awards and went home.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, we don't need to know any details.
I was sick. But it was funny because the phone was off and it was over there. So I know you texted me. Pat, I guess, was blowing up my phone. And finally, she had to walk all the way back to the room to knock on the door to get me up.
Oh, really? See, I didn't know that happened.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you were there.
Because I was in bed.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice because the one nice thing I thought was the ladies from Louisiana.
Yes.
Came up and said goodbye.
Yes.
And they
were great.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was a really fun group, and Silverado treated us so well. And I would go back there for sure.
Oh, we could come up with other places.
I know we can, but I did enjoy it there. There's something to be said for like knowing a location and being able to just go back there and know where to go and how to improve it even than going. Because the first time I had seen Silverado as a host, I'd played there before years ago, but as a host was, 2 days before the event. So it was kind of like, okay, where does everything go? What do we do? So it was a lot of fun. But the other event I wanted to talk to you about was the Colorado Mid-Am.
Oh, God.
That was this summer, right?
It was this summer. And the week before was the senior match play.
In Colorado.
In Colorado. And I played awful. They do pods in Colorado. So in my pod was Janet Moore, Marilyn Hardy, and Lynn Smistowski.
That's a pretty tough pod.
Unfortunately, Lynn lost all three, but I lost to Janet and Marilyn. And I'm telling you, I just played terrible. But Janet said to me, and I think it must have been even after the Mid-Am, she goes, you're hitting the ball better than I've ever seen you hit it before.
Oh.
So that was nice to hear. But so I went up to Loveland and played in the Mid-Am, and I liked the Loveland golf course, but I went into that really just thinking, let's just play well. I didn't think I had a chance of winning because there were a couple good Mid-Am players and then some seniors, Chris Franklin, Marilyn Hardy, Janet.
And the Mid-Am means it's all the players are at least 25 years old or older. So you're not competing against college players or high schoolers, but they're still young. There's still a group of them that are pretty young.
And the last day I just played, well, to be honest with you, I was having trouble breathing before I started. And I don't know if I had a rib out of place, but every time I'd take a deep breath. So Jewel Malik, who's a friend of mine, put me on a bench and kind of put my ribs back in place. So
an impromptu chiropractor session?
Yes, an impromptu. And so I felt like I could at least take a deep breath then and stuff. But I was, I just was surprised.
We had to be breathing smooth to win the whole tournament.
I know. Don't ask me. That was a fluke.
I mean, I would say if I asked you a year ago saying, what are the odds of you winning a state Mid-Am again?
Again, this was the first time.
It was?
Well, they've only been doing a Mid-Am in Colorado for like 5 years. Let's see. Aaron's won it twice. Chris Franklin. I think this was maybe the fifth or sixth time.
I mean, that's the same as Arizona. I think they've only had it for about 5 years too. Interesting.
Yeah. So,
well, congratulations. That's a big win.
Thank you.
That's a new trophy to add to the pile.
It's up in the mountains. I couldn't bring it down because I came straight back, because I drove to Colorado that time. So it was in my car. And so Pat says, this is staying here. I said, okay.
Pat's the boss.
She already made me take a couple of the Kachina dolls up to show.
Well, I'm sure there's not a lot of shelf space left for your Kachina dolls.
And then I played in the Senior Am in Colorado, and I lost in a playoff.
Oh.
Which was kind of heartbreaking to me because I was 5 up after 12 holes.
What happened?
Well, I may have made a double bogey on the 13th hole. It was a par 3, whatever. But which I'm thinking, okay, that's okay. You still got shots. Well, then Chris Franklin, who beat me in a 4-hole playoff, started making some putts, and I couldn't make anything. And so we were tied at the end, and we played 4 playoff holes. 10, 18, 10, 18.
What happened on the final one?
She put a good shot into the green, and I think I hit it in the bunker. I'm not sure, but anyway, so.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
So I didn't play very well in the seniors here. Finished 3rd, I think.
Yeah, but I think overall you had a pretty good summer.
I had a good summer.
Yeah.
I did qualify for the Senior Open. You were with me when they called me. The Women's Senior Open, I was an alternate. But
so wait, let's tell that story. Okay, so where did you qualify this year?
Colorado. And
that's why I wasn't there. Okay.
I was in a 6-person playoff for 1 spot.
The USGA Senior Open. Okay, big time. So you were an alternate after the qualifier.
The first alternate, I lost. There were 4 amateurs and 2 pros in the playoff. 3 of the amateurs got knocked out on the first hole. So then there was me and 2 pros. One of the pros got knocked out on the second hole. And then it was me and Sherry Adonian, who's played in every single one. Hit a bad second shot, and that cost me. So I was the first alternate.
So I've been asking her for like 3 months prior to my summer guest day, because at our course up north, we have a 1-day guest day that's in August. I think it was at end of July this time. And knowing she's up there now, I kept asking, like, do you and Pat want to play in this 1-day guest day with me? Do you want to play? Come play. Because it's so much nicer having people that are already up there so they don't have to sleep at the house, right? So she kept telling me, well, I got to wait and see for the Senior Open. You never know. I could be an alternate, or I got to see if I qualify. So you kept putting me off until, I'm not joking, probably 2 weeks before my guest day. You're like, yeah, I probably am not going to get it. So let's just do it. Let's play.
Well, see, the way the alternates work is if someone from your site drops out, then they go to the first alternate from that site.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, they have I don't even know how they do it, but they have a list of the sites that are 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th on the alternate list. And the reason I told her yes is because I knew Ellen Port was ahead of me, and she hadn't gotten in yet. So I figured, well, if she hadn't gotten in yet, I'm not going to get in.
Uh-huh.
Well, when we played your golf course and we were at lunch, I get a phone call from the USGA.
Yeah. So we're playing in our guest day. We finished. We're sitting at lunch. And what, you got a phone call? Or
I had a text message, so I called, and I could play in the Senior Open, but I would have to be there. So we're talking, this is Wednesday at noon, and they said your tee time will be at 8:40 Thursday morning.
And where was it again?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So we're sitting at lunch. It's probably about 1:30 in the afternoon. And I'm like, Kim, just go. Just do it. Like, make it happen. Drive down, because it's a 3-hour drive back to the valley.
Plus, I'd have to go home and get my flight bag and pack.
Like, she'd have to pack. She'd have to, like, go a bat out of hell to get on this flight. And we were searching all the airlines. And I think we found one United flight that would actually work.
That got me in, though, at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it was brutal. But I kept saying to Kim, like, listen, you'll love it. It will be a good story. Just go. Just do it. Just do it. And we just kept going back and forth. And then you ultimately were like,
well, there's no way, because if I fly in, I get in at 7:30. I'm not going to get my luggage and stuff and get to the golf course by 8:30.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Because even if it was an afternoon tea time, I think you would have went. I think you would have.
Oh, if it would have been an afternoon tea time, I would have gone.
I think you would have stood up and said, "See you later. Enjoy the rest of your lunch. I'm out of here."
I would have. If I would have had an afternoon tea time, I probably would have gone.
Yeah.
But there was no way I could make it for a morning. I'll just have to qualify next year. It's at San Diego Country Club.
That's a lot closer.
Hell of a lot closer.
I like it there. Have you played there before?
No, I haven't.
It's a nice traditional course. I like it there. Fun.
So speaking of tournaments, Tori, you kind of threw out a little thing on Facebook. Pat thought, how is she running all these tournaments in November? I said, Pat, that's when she's going to announce where each of the tournaments are. They're not all within that time.
Okay, so in Pat's defense, when I was making this Instagram, Facebook post that said release dates, when I'm going to be releasing the future trips that are coming up, I said, does this look like I'm having tournaments on these days? Like, you can't read it fast. You got to really digest what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm excited. When this airs, they won't be out yet. But we've been working on them.
Well, the only two that we don't know about are the Creek Cup and your out-of-town one.
Yes. So for 2025, the Creek Cup's going to be announced and the October tournament. And then we're announcing 2 2026 events. And the reason why we're announcing those so early is because they're big. And I have to get on them much earlier than usual.
Big. So how could any of them be any bigger than your Europe trips?
I know. Just wait. Oh my God, I'm so excited. But anyways, back to 2025 for October, because I did message you the other day and I was like, what do you know about Myrtle Beach? Okay. Now, I've been to Myrtle Beach before. It's not my favorite place. Okay. But it's a good place to play golf. Right. So I'm like, okay, we haven't been on the East Coast yet. What do you know about Myrtle Beach? What are your favorite courses? Because I know you go there every November and I want to hear about that.
Well, not every November, but we used to go every other November because we had a timeshare there, but we got rid of it. But we just decided this year, well, let's do a little girls trip to Myrtle Beach. So there's 8 of us going the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So I asked you about it and what your favorite courses are. And I'll get into that. But tell me about your trip in November. Where are you going to play?
We're playing Caledonia, Polly's Plantation, TPC, Tidewater, and Kings North.
Fun. That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah. This is a group of girls that I probably normally wouldn't hang out with. They're from Munns Park and San Marcos down here. Lori Prescott, Megan Reeves.
Oh, my God. What a blast that will be. I love Megan.
Kim
Lori's
Wyatt.
Nice. Oh, my God.
Kim Anderson.
And Susan Ham?
Susan can't go. She was on the list. Can't go. So then Kim Anderson, Dee Dee Ireland. And then there's one new person that's taking, Susan Ham couldn't go, so then Robin Alvarez was going to go.
Oh.
But then she realized she had a commitment, so now it's somebody else. And Lori says that I've met her. I just don't know the name.
Yeah, you'll recognize her, yeah.
So these text messages, I got it all arranged. I got the place where we're staying and all the golf arranged. And I said, you guys are in charge of the cars. And I said, the condo that we got has 4 bedrooms, a bed for everybody except the master, which is, I said, well, I guess Pat and I get the master since we're the only ones willing to sleep together.
Oh, my goodness. Well, look at you, the little planner bee.
Oh,
I'm under the impression that, like, that's how you would like it. You'd like to be the one planning.
Well, especially Myrtle Beach, because we've been there quite a bit. And I have a great guy that does it. So if by chance you guys do go to Myrtle Beach, then I'll give you the name of my guy, because if people want to get their housing or their accommodation set up, they probably need to do it sooner than later. Because when I was talking to him about you possibly coming, he goes, 200 women? That'll be hard to get tea times for that many. I said, no, they'll be taking over the golf course if they get it. I mean, we'll be doing shotguns, morning and afternoon shotguns for 2 days or 3 days or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh. But
it was interesting that was his reaction, though, because that's kind of the reaction I've been getting.
They're probably not used to that.
Well, and so this is what I was thinking. Okay. And I had the whole name set and I even had the logo made. Unfortunately, it didn't work out this year. We're going to be doing someplace else. But well, let me say what happened. So I called 2 places in particular.
Barefoot Landings.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I wasn't going to say it.
Oh.
Well, we won't see the other place, okay?
Well, I don't know what the other place was.
Really?
Oh, the sea? Oh, okay.
Anyway, so what I was thinking with Myrtle Beach, though, which is nice, is that it could have been as similar to Desert Classic. We could have done 3 days, and it could have been a much lower price point. And you can do whatever housing you want because there's housing all over the place, you know, just like Phoenix, you know, like, because I'd rather not take care of hotel. It's a total pain in the ass. And honestly, what happens is that if you have a bad experience in the hotel, it's a reflection on me and my events. And, you know, I don't have any control over the hotel and what they do.
That is tough.
I thought, okay, this will be easy. You'll just pay to play in the tournament. And then everything else, you take care of yourself. And it can be a lower price point per team, just like Desert Classic.
So when you told me this, here's what I'm thinking, first of all.
Okay.
The golf courses are great, but I don't know of golf courses that would have a big enough facility to host 200 women.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you would have to find a place and then everybody has to go to, and the 3 golf courses that I picked for you were all within 5 or 10 minutes of each other. But again, you have to have a location to where you can do your parties and, you know, all that stuff.
Absolutely. So I was starting to figure that out too, where the outside the golf was going to be a situation, whether we all went to a specific hotel, I don't know. But unfortunately, I spoke in depth with 2 different golf courses, and their response to me was basically, we can't handle that. Like, that's too much for us.
And I don't know where they do it, but the Myrtle Beach Amateur, there's a Myrtle Beach Amateur that gets people from all over the country.
I think it's like the short, because I've played in it, the short par 4 tournament where you played 4 different courses in Myrtle. And it's like
it's
huge.
Not short, though.
No, that's what the company's name is. Short par 4. But anyway, it's this gigantic tournament and it's a team event. And I've played in it before.
No, the one I'm talking about is not a team event. It's kind of like the tournament that's in Mesquite every year and stuff. But I have another option for you. Go to Big Cedar Lodge.
Is that the one in
Missouri?
Missouri. Yeah. I mean, that's on the short list for sure. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get there eventually. But it was, again, the October tournament is tough because you want it to be a destination city or golf course, but then you can't have it be too expensive because then you're knocking out a lot of people that are able to do it. You know, I'd rather keep it more accessible. So anyway, I wasn't pleased with the reactions I got from these golf courses because how I felt was that they just said no to me without like a solution of some sort or an option. Like they didn't say to me, okay, we can do X, Y, and Z, but it's going to cost this much. Or, okay, we can do A, and B, but we can't do C, but how about this scenario? Like it was just like,
No. That's too bad because they're missing out.
It is too bad because I think Myrtle Beach would be a perfect spot. And I'm not crossing it off indefinitely. I have a logo that I really freaking love and a name of a tournament that I really want to use.
So Palm Desert.
I feel like Palm Desert's too much like Phoenix, no? Like it's going to attract the same geographic locations. But maybe I'll put that out to the listener. Would you be more inclined to go to Palm Springs, Palm Desert area than Phoenix? Like if I had something in Palm Springs, would that be like, oh, really? Okay. I'd love to go there. I feel like it's the same attraction as Scottsdale.
I don't know.
They are different though.
They are. They are. And the Desert Springs Marriott in Palm Desert's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get on the East Coast, man.
I know. You have to go that far east. You know, I mean,
yeah,
you could do something in like the Robert Trent Jones Trail or.
Yeah, I would need help with that.
I've heard, though, that Cedar Lodge, I knew some people that went there this summer and they said it's definitely a place you need to go.
Yeah, but the problem is it's probably $350, $400 a round.
Well, maybe not if you have a tournament coming. I mean, you don't know until you call them.
Yeah, no, I agree. The balance is going places. I don't mind paying the greens fees, but then they're going to require you to stay at the hotel. And what if we don't? Like, it's definitely.
Well, you could say you want so many rooms booked
Yeah.
That people can call in, you know, like what the USGA does. They have a block of rooms that they block off if you want to stay at the hotel. Next year at the USGA Senior Am, it's out in the middle of BFE.
Where's that?
It's in Virginia at the Homestead. It's where I played my very first seniors in 2009.
Oh, yeah.
And made it to the quarterfinals. So, I mean, I like the golf course, but.
Did you already book your flight?
No.
Book your hotel room?
No, because those hotel rooms, I mean, it's the only place to stay at the resort.
Oh, really?
And they're like $250 some a night. And I have a funny story, but just to make it short, we had a mouse in our room when we were there in 2009, 5-star hotel, and we had a mouse. So we finally end up calling. And maintenance, they don't offer to change us rooms or anything. He goes, I'll just bring a sticky pad up.
Oh,
well, sure shit. We caught the mouse the next night, but before maintenance got up there, it somehow, as it started running around the wall, got loose and went back down the heat register. But we got a picture of it before that. So we could prove that we had a mouse in our room the whole damn time.
Gross.
Every night in the middle of the night, we'd wake up and hear something. I mean, we even left a piece of bread out.
Yeah.
Packed everything, left a piece of bread out. The next morning we got up. I said, Pat, what'd you do with the piece of bread? She goes, I didn't do anything with it. There was not a crumb. This mouse took the whole damn bread.
Of course he did. It's like you left him a treat.
Yes, but no crumbs whatsoever. It was pretty amazing. It was a cute mouse, but we did get about 3 nights free after we told the manager the problem.
Well, that's nice.
She was willing to switch us rooms for our last night. And I said, I've already been here over a week and now you want to switch me rooms?
Yeah. I'd be like, no, thanks.
That's exactly what I said because we had shit everywhere.
Yeah.
But we drove there that year. So next year, I don't know because I think you have to fly into either Roanoke or Richmond. And then drive a while. I don't know. I like the golf course because I played well there, but it's out in the middle of nowhere.
All right. Well, I mean, at least it brings good memories back of not being with the mouse, but getting to the quarterfinals.
Well, the mouse was kind of fun, but it interrupted my sleep every night.
All right. Well, let's finish up with what's coming up for you.
The Partners event, the Arizona Partners event is in about a week and a half.
Is that at El Conquistador?
No, it's at Oro Valley Country Club.
Oh, even worse.
Why?
Well, because every time I play there, I play terrible. It's like my game. Well, anytime I drive down to Tucson, my golf game somehow falls out of the car halfway out.
Well, I've never played Oro Valley Country Club, but that's where Judy Penman used to be a member. See, we played down there one year at the Vistas, which I thought was, but that was just in Oro Valley. But we stayed at Judy's, and she goes, no, they're 2 totally different golf courses. Yeah. So that's nice. Because I called her to ask, and she goes, the first thing out of her mouth was, did you just butt dial me? I said, no, Judy, I called you because I wanted to talk to you.
Does she live in Pinehurst now?
Yes, and you know what I found out? Because Sean O'Donnell is moving to Pinehurst.
I heard that.
The dues at Pinehurst are like $609 a month.
Wow.
And that's 9 golf courses.
Wow. No wonder. I mean, I've actually heard a lot of people moving to Pinehurst now. No wonder.
The housing market, I guess, is a lot cheaper than here. But anyway, so I have that coming up, and then the state match play.
Wow. Actually, now that I'm going to be playing golf.
Maybe you should sign up for that.
Yeah, I do need to sign up for that. Because it's at Southern Dunes, too.
It's at Southern Dunes, and I like that golf
I love
course.
me some Southern Dunes. It's one of my favorite courses. If you're coming to Scottsdale, Phoenix, I would put that on the list.
Yeah, it's a nice golf course, and I have a place to stay down there, which is nice.
It can't be that far of a drive from your...
Oh, it's probably about an hour
okay.
with traffic and stuff.
All right. Well,
so
thanks, Kim. I'm gonna let's figure out some guests to have on, and we'll have you back here sooner rather than later. Okay.
Okay, and thank you all of you listeners who told her that you wanted to.
Well, it was only a matter of time, Kim, until you came
Yep.
back, but it definitely kicked me in the butt.
It was, and it's
We have a good time.
we do. And we're going to play together in the season opener, which is a 2-day event this year, which will be nice.
Yep.
Down at Ropes and Ranch again.
beginning of February. That'll be good.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff coming up. You know, the AGA added a new tournament, but I had to talk to Logan. He was going to add a Stableford tournament. And I said to him, is that going to be a partners event? Because if so, you already basically have one of those in the partners tournament, which is Stableford. I said, now, if you do individual, that could be fun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right.
So we'll see.
Well, until next time, Kimberly, Eaton.